I found a ring. The moment I slipped it on, Liam Sterling, the hottest guy on campus, fell head over heels for me, pursuing me with a furious intensity. I was just average. Yet he swore I was the most beautiful girl in the world. Even his friends thought he'd lost his mind, scoffing that love was truly blind, that he'd mistaken a dull pebble for a dazzling diamond. After 6 months with Liam, I gradually began to accept this bizarre reality. My defenses crumbled. I let my guard down, opened my heart, and went home with him. But the next morning, my ring was gone. Liam, his eyes wide with panic, shoved me away. "Who are you?" he demanded, his voice laced with terror. He broke up with me, painting me as some kind of monster to his friends. "The Sarah I knew wasn't like this," he snarled, a visceral disgust twisting his features. "It's sick. I actually spent half a year with that woman." Time rewound. The ring had flung me back 6 months. It turned out this magical artifact could transform me into my crush's ideal woman. I stared at the ring, a profound unease settling in my chest. This time I didn't put it on. Instead, I locked it away, vowing never to touch it again. What I hadn't expected was that Liam had been dragged back in time with me. After ditching Chloe Evans, she surprisingly didn't go to the party that night. "Liam didn't even show up," she mumbled, looking utterly crestfallen. "He's apparently sick or something." I paused, then offered a few words of comfort. "Maybe next time, then." Chloe latched onto my arm, pouting. "Sarah, you have to come with me to the next gathering. It's always all guys, and I'm the only girl. It's so awkward." I chuckled, gently pushing her hand away. "Why don't you ask Lucy to go with you instead?" Chloe's expression flickered. "She's not going. Please. Sarah, please say you'll come. I'm begging you." I knew exactly why Chloe was so desperate to drag me along. Lucy Miller was stunning, and Chloe couldn't stand anyone stealing her thunder. I, on the other hand, was perfectly plain, a dutiful backdrop, easy to overlook. In my previous life, I'd gone with Chloe to that very gathering, but everyone there had been utterly floored. Liam hadn't even glanced at Chloe. Instead, his gaze had been utterly fixated on me, the unassuming sidekick. After the party, Liam had launched into a whirlwind courtship. At first, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I figured it was just some twisted game, a prank cooked up by the campus royalty. But Liam's relentless pursuit and genuine demeanor slowly chipped away at my skepticism. He was undeniably good to me. No matter how much his friends warned him off, he remained steadfast. I saw the sincerity in his eyes, and little by little, he won me over. We became a couple. But the moment I truly gave him my heart, after a night of shared intimacy, Liam transformed. He shrieked, practically throwing me out of his apartment, swearing he'd never seen me before in his life. I felt like I'd fallen straight into hell. Back at the dorm, I realized my ring was gone. I had no choice but to return to Liam's place to find it. When I got back, Liam was surrounded by his friends. His face was a mask of repulsion, pure nausea etched into every line. "The Sarah I knew wasn't like this," he spewed, his voice raw with disgust. "It's sick. I actually spent half a year with that woman. What the hell happened?" I stood frozen in the doorway, my soul feeling ripped from my body. The next second, time rewound. I was back before Liam had ever even known me. That very ring, the one that had dropped from my finger, now sat quietly in my desk drawer. I tore open the packaging and pulled out the instructions. Nestled inside the box, "This ring possesses magic. Wear it, and you will become the ideal version of your secret crush." The explanation stated that because my mission to win Liam over had failed, the ring had sent me back 6 months. I stared at the ring, a profound unease churning within me. But I didn't put it on again. Instead, I locked it away in my closet, vowing never to touch it. A few days later, Chloe was begging me again. Liam had organized another gathering specifically inviting Chloe and telling her to bring her roommates. Sarah, please, just come with me. Annoyed, I called out from my bunk. Liam said you could. Bring your roommates, right? So, everyone in the dorm can
go.
Why don't you ask them? Whoever wants to go out with Liam can go. My words instantly piqued everyone else's interest.
Sure.
Enough. Chloe had kept this a secret from them. Now that everyone knew, they were all buzzing. In the end, everyone in the dorm agreed to go, except for me. Lucy even came over to try and convince me. Everyone else is going, Sarah. Why don't you just come along?
We're
in college now. It's time to experience some of that college life. Lucy's words made me hesitate. It had been almost a month since I'd come back, and I felt my feelings for Liam had settled, like still water. Maybe a calm approach would help me demythologize him. Besides, this time, without the ring's magical aura, and my roommates all being gorgeous, no one would bother me. I could just go for a free meal. Once I agreed, that day I didn't even bother with makeup.
I
threw on a hoodie and jeans, pulled my hair into a ponytail, and headed out looking fresh and simple. Liam and his friends had already arrived. It was his buddies who came to pick us up. Just as I'd hoped, I went unnoticed. No one tried to strike up a conversation. I just quietly slipped into the restaurant. Liam was seated in a corner. His clothes were simple, but his handsome face elevated even the most casual attire, making it look like haute couture. He was undeniably good-looking, came from a wealthy family, and there wasn't a single girl who saw him whose heart wouldn't quicken. Once I settled into my seat, I heard Chloe's excited whisper, Sarah, is Liam looking at us? I glanced up. My eyes met Liam's. He was frowning, his gaze sharp and complex as if trying to bore right through
me.
My stomach fluttered with an unfamiliar unease. Yeah, I mumbled, nodding. He's looking at you. I wasn't much of a talker to begin with, and once the food arrived, I buried myself in my plate, tuning out all the chatter, utterly detached from the table's social dance. That was until Lucy nudged me, an awkward flush creeping up her neck. Sarah? I looked up. Everyone at the table was staring at me. Liam's face was dark, a rigid sneer twisting his lips. Sarah, Lucy whispered. Liam just tried to say hello? Liam chuckled, a hint of mockery glinting in his eyes. Chloe, is your friend starving? How long has it been since she ate? A hush fell over the table. Jake Hayes, one of Liam's friends, was the first to react, quickly jumping in to ease the tension. What are you talking about, Liam? You just worried there wasn't enough food, right? Waiter, let's get a few more dishes. Liam didn't respond. I wiped my mouth, then stood up, offering a bland smile to everyone. My apologies. I skipped lunch and was ravenous. I'll take a penalty drink. You all, just enjoy yourselves, don't mind me. I grabbed a soda and chugged it, but Liam's scowl only deepened. He pressed on, his voice dripping with condescension. Drinking soda to toast us? That's not much commitment. I met Liam's gaze, my own eyes flat and unreadable. I'm allergic to alcohol. Lucy awkwardly tugged at my arm, explaining to Liam. Sarah really is allergic. One sip and she's out. After I sat back down, Liam remained stone-faced, not uttering another word throughout the rest of the meal. I didn't care what his problem was. After dinner, when they started talking about heading to karaoke, I announced my
departure.
Chloe offered a hesitant apology. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I don't know what got into Liam tonight. Maybe he's just in a bad mood. I waved it off, saying it was fine. As I walked out, I saw Jake and Liam standing together. What's your deal, man? Jake was saying. Did you drink too much? Why were you giving that girl such a hard time? Another friend chimed in. Yeah, even if she isn't super pretty, you could have just ignored her. You made the whole atmosphere super awkward. I happened to be walking by at that moment. The group froze, wide-eyed. Jake was the first to recover.
Sarah, you.
Coming to karaoke with us. I offered him a small smile. No thanks, you guys have fun. I'm heading back. Jake started walking toward me. I can walk you back. Before I could reply, Liam's cold voice cut through the air. Let her walk herself. I looked at Liam, a spark of anger igniting within me. Jake, you can walk me. Jake blinked, surprised, then followed me. I'll see Sarah.
Off.
You guys go ahead. Once we were outside, Jake's curiosity got the better of him. Did you two know each other before? No, I replied, shaking my head. I flagged down a taxi, then turned to Jake. What I said back there was just to be spiteful. You should go back.
I
don't need you to walk me. I got into the cab, but Jake was insistent. It's late for a girl to be riding alone. I don't feel good about it. I let out a soft laugh. You're quite the gentleman. I didn't talk much to Jake during the ride. When we reached campus, he asked for my number. I didn't give it to him. Instead, I put on my best too cool for school act. I'm not really looking to date, so apologies. Jake's face flushed. I wasn't.
see ya.
I cut him off, making a swift exit. I knew Jake couldn't possibly be interested in me. He was just as handsome as Liam. How could he possibly be attracted to someone as ordinary as me? I was just trying to find an excuse to keep all of them at a distance. But from that day on, Jake seemed to have developed an interest in me. He started contacting me frequently. He got my number from Chloe, then started waiting for me after class. Today was no different. He held a coffee cup, asking me out for a meal just outside the classroom. Got some free time later? Wanna grab a bite? Chloe, walking out with me, saw Jake approaching me and looked genuinely surprised. You're asking Sarah out? Jake nodded. I, too, was genuinely curious as to why Jake had taken an interest in me. I agreed to have dinner with him. On the way, I asked him, do you think I'm pretty? Am I your dream girl? My blunt questions left Jake speechless. Once I confirmed he wasn't under any strange spell, I
pressed on.
Probably not, right? I'm pretty plain.
So why?
Are you asking me out? Jake considered it. I think your personality is interesting. I offered a faint smile. Is that so? I'm not entirely convinced. We continued our conversation, our closeness seemingly growing. Just then I saw Liam. He stood in the distance, his eyes cold, locked on us. I met his stare, then casually reached out and took Jake's
hand.
Jake froze. At the same instant, Liam stormed over, his anger barely contained. He grabbed my arm, yanking me toward him. Jake, she's not who you think she is.
Wake
up. Liam's words sent a shiver down my spine. Jake looked utterly bewildered. What are you talking about? What's wrong with Sarah? Let her go, you're hurting her. Jake tried to pull me back, but Liam already had a firm grip on me and started dragging me away. My mind was a tangled mess. I tried to pull free, but his grip was unyielding. He didn't release me until we reached a secluded spot. Liam's eyes, dark and stormy, glared at me. What, Sarah? Couldn't reel me in, so you switched targets? Are you always this fickle, always so manipulative? I frowned, a growing sense of dread coiling in my stomach. What are you talking about? Liam gritted his teeth. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I fell silent, a wild, absurd thought blossoming in my mind. If I had returned 6 months in the past, was it possible Liam had, too? If so, then his current reactions, his fury, his strange accusations, they all made a terrifying sort of sense. My mind reeled. The universe truly has a twisted sense of humor, I thought. But I wanted nothing more to do with Liam. So I decided to play dumb. I have no idea what you're talking about. Jake and I have nothing going on. I'm not interested in him. Please make sure he gets that message and stops bothering me. I spat the words out, my voice laced with annoyance. Internally, I silently apologized to Jake. There was no other
way
to truly distance myself from Liam. I had to push away his friends too. This time, I just wanted a quiet life.
I
Was an ordinary person. I couldn't possibly belong in their world of golden boys. You. Liam looked absolutely furious. How can you be so shameless? He seethed. You clearly schemed to seduce Jake, and now you're telling him to get lost. I raised an eyebrow, a mocking smile playing on my lips. What scheme? Didn't you tell Jake not to be fooled by me? I don't care to fool him, nor do I care to associate with any
of you.
We're not friends. Don't bother me again. Liam sneered. I certainly hope not. Absolutely. I agreed, my voice flat. That absolutely was my silent farewell. Liam, may our paths never cross again. Liam paused, his mouth opening as if to speak, but no words came out. I turned and walked away. Jake, still confused by the whole incident, eventually stopped trying to reach out.
When
he sought me out, I simply pretended not to see him. After several failed attempts, Jake cornered me by the classroom door. The moment I stepped out, he stood directly in front of me. Sarah, can we talk? His face was pale, dark circles beneath his eyes betraying a restless night. I sighed. Didn't I tell you to stop looking for me? I'm not interested. Jake's expression was visibly wounded. Is it because of Liam? What did he say to you? Whatever it was, it's not how I feel, Sarah. Please, don't let it get to you. My voice was cold. It has nothing to do with him. I'm genuinely not interested in you. Stop looking for me. I need to focus on my studies right now. Jake pressed his lips together, forcing a strained smile.
You misunderstand.
I just want to be friends. Can't we even be friends? I felt a pang of guilt, but I stood firm. I'm sorry, but please, don't come looking for me anymore. This entire scene was witnessed by many, including my roommate, Chloe. That night, returning from studying, I heard Chloe's voice from inside our dorm room. Does Jake have some kind of weird taste? She pondered. Addition, why would he be interested in Sarah? I'm racking my brain, and I just can't figure it out. Sarah's so plain, and he's so handsome. Why would he pursue her and then get rejected by her? This world is just bizarre. Chloe lamented, and I stood outside, my lips twitching.
I
wasn't sure if I should just walk in. Honestly, I hadn't worn the ring, and I wasn't interested in Jake. Logically, without the ring's aura, he shouldn't have been interested in me at
all.
So, yeah, I found it pretty bizarre myself. After Chloe finished, Lucy asked, I know, right? It's so
weird.
Maybe Jake just values personality more. Hey, Chloe, how are things going with Liam? Haven't you been out with him a lot these past few days? Chloe's expression stiffened. We're doing great. So, when are you two going to make it official? Lucy
pressed.
Chloe hedged. Oh, it's still early. We're taking things slow. Seeing them change the subject, I finally walked in. They froze when they saw me, but quickly offered cheerful greetings. Chloe, ever the gossip, immediately asked what had happened between me and Jake. Sarah, did Jake confess to you? I smiled. I had no desire to burn bridges. Being surface-level roommates for the rest of college sounded perfectly
fine.
What are you talking about? He was just asking me for help with some questions. Why would he confess to me? Chloe's eyes darted around. So you're not interested in him at all? No interest whatsoever. How could we possibly be?
My
only interest right now is studying. Chloe chuckled. Sarah, you're such a total bookworm. I smiled back. Studying is how I'll make a real difference in the world. What's the point of dating? Besides, I've read some amazing books lately. I can recommend them to you. The moment I brought up studying, their interest evaporated. They mumbled a few perfunctory replies, and I gratefully shut up, enjoying the quiet. After that day, Jake stopped seeking me out. I thought my life would finally return to normal, a peaceful college existence. But a few days later, Chloe called me Her voice sounded strained. Sarah, can you come here? I frowned. What's wrong? Chloe's voice was hesitant, almost stuttering. I'm at the mall near campus. I'm feeling a bit unwell. Can you come pick me up? What's wrong with you? Chloe just kept insisting she felt sick, begging me to come get her. I didn't understand why she'd call me, but she was my roommate, and Chloe rarely asked for my help. Fearing she was genuinely unwell and alone, I packed my things and headed over. When I arrived at the designated restaurant, I saw Chloe sitting at a table. She wasn't alone. Liam Sterling was sitting opposite her. My face instantly went cold. What is this? You said you were sick. Your boyfriend's right across from you.
Why?
Didn't you ask him for help? Chloe's face fell. She stood up and tugged at my arm.
I'm
sorry, Sarah, I lied. I was afraid you wouldn't come out.
We
just wanted to invite you for dinner. Please, just sit down. Annoyed, I pushed her hand away. If you're fine, I'm leaving. As I turned to walk away, Liam's cold voice cut through the
air.
What did you do to Jake? He's a mess. I looked at Liam. His mood has nothing to do with me. We're not friends, and I'm not friends with any of you. I glared at Chloe. Don't ever bother me again. I spun to leave, but Liam's voice rose, sharp and commanding. You dare walk away, Sarah. If you leave, I'll tell Jake your secret. I stopped dead, a cold smirk playing on my lips.
What? Secret?
Go on, tell him. Liam's face was a mask of frustration. You know it. I know what. You're making baseless accusations, just spouting rumors. Liam clenched his fists, his eyes fixed on me with intense frustration. The Jake in Jake's eyes is different from the Jake in ours. I burst out laughing, as if he'd told the most ridiculous
joke.
Ha ha ha. Are you out of your mind? You're completely unhinged. You should ask Jake about that. How would I know what he sees in me? I turned, the smile vanishing from my face the moment I walked away. Chloe chased after me, her face pale as she stammered. Apologies. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I don't know what's wrong with Liam. He forced me to call you out. It's my fault. I'm so sorry. I ignored Chloe, but she grabbed my arm again. Sarah, please forgive me, okay?
Don't ignore me.
I frowned, looking at Chloe. Do you even need me? You're not exactly short on friends, especially ordinary ones like me. Chloe's face stiffened, tears welling in her eyes. Sarah, I genuinely want to be your friend. Stop playing games, I retorted, my voice sharp. Just say what you mean. If you don't, we have nothing more to talk about. Chloe bit her lip, struggling for a moment, then finally spoke, her voice barely a whisper. He's really focused on you. I really like him, but every time we've hung out,
he just asks about you.
If you don't talk to me, he'll definitely ignore me too. I froze, feeling utterly bewildered. He's like that, and you still like him. Chloe was on the verge of tears. It's the first time in my life I've liked a guy this much. Please, I'm begging you. Help me. Help you. I scoffed, my voice cold. Who's going to help? Me. I pushed her hand away, turning and walking straight back into the restaurant, heading directly for Liam. If you let my roommate spy on me again, I'm calling the police. Chloe, rushing back, heard my words. Her mouth dropped open, her expression a mix of shock and panic. Liam's pupils constricted, his emotions a tangled mess. Sarah, what are you talking about? Chloe rushed over, trying to stop me, but I shook her off, my eyes icy. Chloe, I'm telling you, if it weren't for the fact that we're roommates, I would have called the police already. I'm letting you off the hook this time, so just shut up. Chloe instantly deflated, unable to utter another word. I turned back to Liam, my gaze unwavering. Write me a handwritten promise. If you harass or spy on me again, if you violate my personal rights, I'll make sure you spend a few nights in a cell. Liam's brows furrowed, his eyes rimmed with a raw redness. Sarah, Are you writing it or not? Liam retorted. I want to talk to you. I immediately shot him down. We have nothing to talk about. Liam stood up, his eyes bloodshot, his jaw clenched.
How?
Could you change so fast? I raised an eyebrow, a cold smile playing on my lips. Change into what? Liam shook his head, muttering. No, things shouldn't have
Turned out this way.
Sarah, have you forgotten everything? A sharp pang went through my chest. I pulled out my phone. The screen paused on the 911 dialing screen. Promise in writing or police? Liam's face was rigid. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not writing it. You did nothing wrong? You didn't do anything wrong by having someone spy on me. As I finished speaking, Liam stared at me, then suddenly raised his voice. Because I like you. I want to pursue you. So, I want to know things about you. Is that so wrong? Liam's outburst stunned everyone present. The commotion had already drawn stares, but now, watching a super handsome guy passionately declare his feelings for a plain Jane, everyone in the restaurant was speechless. Chloe was the most stunned. No matter how bizarre Liam's actions, she'd never believed he could actually be interested in me. How could a star as bright as him ever fall for ordinary me? It simply wasn't possible. She'd considered countless possibilities, yet this one had been completely dismissed. I, too, was momentarily frozen. After a beat, I spoke.
I don't like you.
In my eyes, you're disgusting. Write the promise. Or I'm calling the police. Liam's eyes grew even redder. He trembled slightly. Sarah, stop pretending. He moved toward me, reaching out to grab my hand.
You
came back too, didn't you? You just don't want to face me. Sarah, stop this act. Tell me what's really going on. I just need an answer. Liam roared, his red-rimmed eyes giving him a wild, almost unhinged look. I pushed him away, pulling out my phone and dialing the police. Liam, Chloe, and I, all of us ended up at the police station. The consequences weren't severe. Since no physical harm had occurred, Liam and Chloe merely had to write apology letters and sign written promises to stay away. But the incident exploded on campus. The mall near the school was mostly frequented by students from our university. Someone had filmed the scene and posted it on the campus forum. Before our dispute was even settled, the news had spread like wildfire. The top trending post on the university forum was about us. Liam Sterling chasing an ugly girl? And got rejected then. She called the cops? OMG, Liam never dated, so this is his type. What does she even look like? Video screenshot. Oh my god, she's so plain. My roommate's prettier than her. This girl's got serious game though. Not just Liam, Jake likes her too, and she rejected him too. Liam and Jake are even friends. This girl's got some serious moves. You're all marveling. I just want to learn her guy getting secrets. Please, how do you get the two hottest guys on campus fighting over you? Are you guys serious? Only focusing on looks? The girl called the cops. Liam, no matter how hot his character is, trash. She clearly doesn't like him, but he's dragging her around and having her watched. If I had a pursuer like that, I'd be terrified. Dream on, Liam's not chasing you, sweetie. Seriously messed up, only judging by looks, not character. By the time we left the police station, it was already quite late. Chloe's eyes were swollen from crying, looking pitiful and fragile. Since he'd just signed a promise, Liam could only glare at me, daring not to approach. I spoke to Chloe, my voice heavy with exhaustion.
You
need to move out of our dorm. I don't want to share a room
with you.
If you don't want to, then I'll move. Chloe's voice was hoarse. I'll move. You don't have to. Her eyes held a hint of hatred as she looked at me. Then she turned to Liam, raising her hand and slapping him hard across the face. You knew how I felt about you, and you treated me like this. You used me as a pawn, Liam. What did I ever do to deserve this? I hate you, you jerk.
Don't ever contact me
again. Chloe screamed, tears streaming down her face. Liam remained silent. Chloe then turned and ran, sobbing. This incident clearly hit her hard, but I didn't see it as a bad thing. It might help her lose interest in him quickly, see him for the jerk he was, and prevent her from getting tangled up even deeper. As I prepared to head back, I saw Jake rushing toward us, his face etched with worry. I heard what happened and came as fast as I could. Sarah, are you okay? I dodged the jacket he tried to drape over my shoulders.
I'm fine.
I'm going back now. Jake paused. I'll take you. I still refused. We're not close. Jake gently took my arm. It's late. Taxis are hard to find. Just think of me as your driver, okay? Liam, standing off to the side, his face a thundercloud cut. Sarah, don't go with him. I sighed, patting Jake's shoulder. You should probably go. Check on him instead. He's not quite right in the head, you might want to keep an eye on him. I'll just bike back. With that, I walked over, scanned a shared bike, and with a swift push of my foot, pedaled off into the night. As I rode, I hummed a tune. In those fleeting years, how many times did we say, see you later, only to delay the final goodbye? It's a shame no one truly. Love wasn't just a heated debate of passion and desire. I looked at the streetlights, casting a soft, hazy glow. Behind me, Liam's trembling voice echoed. Sarah, you lied to
Me.
I stiffened, then realized that song. It was Liam's favorite. He played it so often, I'd unconsciously picked up the tune. I looked at the warm, blurry lights, pedaling harder, then stretched out my left hand and waved behind me. Goodbye. But it was clear, as long as I remained at this university, saying goodbye to Liam would be impossible. Initially, some on the forum dismissed the incident as rumor or misunderstanding. How could Liam possibly pursue someone as ordinary as me? But then, Liam's behavior became truly obsessive. He started seeking me out just like in my previous life, pursuing me with a furious, burning intensity. I saw the stubborn defiance in his eyes, as if seeing our past selves reflected there. Back then, I'd thought Liam was just toying with me, so I'd repeatedly refused to meet him. He'd gotten my number from my roommate, found me on Venmo, and sent me 10 transfers of $5,000 each. When I tried to send the money back, he'd already blocked me. Such a huge sum, I absolutely had to return it. Out of options, I met Liam, intending to clear things up. It was then that I was gradually won over by his youthful fervor and apparent sincerity. That Liam, the one from my past, truly loved me. And so, his childish tactics had worked. This time he used the exact same trick. The moment my phone buzzed with a notification for a $5,000 transfer, I knew it was Liam. By the third $5,000 transfer, I'd blocked him. Even if he was willing to keep sending money, I wasn't
Going to chase him down.
That amount of money meant nothing to Liam, since he'd marked it as a voluntary gift. He could consider it a charitable donation. When Liam realized I wasn't coming to him, he called me. On the other end, he let out a low chuckle, as if he'd caught me red-handed. You did come back, didn't you? You still remember me, Sarah. Even if your appearance changed, your personality never will. The old you, no matter what, would have contacted me to return the money. I remained silent, then hung up. From that day on, I stopped answering any calls from unknown numbers. Liam began waiting for me downstairs from my dorm. Every day, he'd bring a different bouquet of flowers each time, waiting for me as I headed to class.
He didn't bother
me, just watched. Sarah, I just need an explanation. I reported him to the university. The school issued a strict warning against Liam's behavior, but it didn't stop him.
He
stopped bringing flowers, but he started accidentally running into me all over campus. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I walked straight up to him. All right, let's talk this out. I had once asked Liam what I looked like in his eyes. He'd said I had a radiant smile and pearly teeth, beautiful as an angel. I'd brushed it off as a joke, never taking him seriously.
But
Now I wanted to know what I really looked like in his eyes. I handed him a piece of paper and a pencil. Draw what Sarah looks like in your mind. Liam froze. So, you're finally confessing to me. Draw her, I urged again. Liam took the paper and pencil. He stood there for a long moment, unable to put pen to paper. I frowned. If you can't draw, we can find someone who can. Liam's hand, gripping the pencil, began to tremble.
he
Suddenly gasped, shaking uncontrollably. He hadn't drawn a single line. He shoved the paper and pencil to the floor. He looked at me, his eyes filled with fear and despair.
I
Don't remember her, he stammered, his voice raw.
I
Don't remember her. That face has turned into you. He suddenly surged forward, grabbing my collar. Give her back to me. Give me back my Sarah. Liam shoved me against the wall. I watched him quietly as he slowly unraveled, until finally he was begging me. Please, give me back my Sarah. I miss her so much.
I
Miss her so much. Liam sobbed, and my chest ached with a strange, familiar pain. I spoke, my voice soft, almost a whisper. Your Sarah is gone. Liam froze, then asked, where did she go? The old her loved you. Now she doesn't. So, your Sarah disappeared. As I spoke, Liam stared at my face, murmuring, she is you, isn't she? Right there, in front of Liam, I pulled out the ring. Liam recognized it instantly. It was the ring I always wore. His emotions flared. Where did you get that ring? I placed the ring in my palm, revealing it to him. I found this ring. In its box, there was an instruction manual. It said, wear this ring, and you will become the ideal version of your secret crush. The me from college was an ugly duckling. So, my fantasy crush, the most popular guy on campus, was you, Liam. Liam snatched the ring from my hand like a madman, completely believing every word I said without a trace of
doubt.
Sarah, please put on. I'm begging you. Let me see her one more time. I looked at him coldly, then took the ring from his hand and slipped it onto my finger. But once it was on, nothing changed. Liam's face immediately fell into disappointment. No change. You lied to me. I took the ring off and tilted my head at him. Because I don't love you anymore. Liam remained silent for a long, heavy moment. I pushed him away. I've explained everything. Don't come looking for me again. As I turned to leave, Liam grabbed my hand. Sarah, can you give me one more chance? I looked at him, my eyes tinged with mockery.
Which
Sarah are you pleading for? I pulled my hand free from Liam's grasp. As I walked out, I saw Jake standing by the door. He looked at me, his expression momentarily stunned, then quickly shifted to concern. I heard your voice, so I came to check. I nodded, brushing past Jake, without stopping. From then on, Liam stopped looking for me. He became withdrawn and melancholic, no longer coming to campus. Instead, he started seeing a therapist for psychological treatment. I heard he had fallen into depression because he couldn't remember the face of the woman he
loved.
After Liam retreated, Jake gradually began to integrate into my life. He was incredibly perceptive, understanding that I wasn't eager for close contact, so he approached me step by step, keeping within acceptable boundaries. Liam's love had been a fervent, explosive declaration, meant for the entire world to witness. Jake was his antithesis, a slow burn, gradually taking over my life little by little. This boiling of frogs slowly approach meant that by the time I realized what was happening, Jake had already permeated every corner of my existence. He'd wait for me after class with a hot coffee, gently asking, there's a new hot pot place near campus. Wanna go? He remembered my preferences. I liked spicy food but had a sensitive stomach, so he'd always have yogurt and antacids ready for me. I never wore the ring in front of Jake. So, in his eyes, I was simply me. I thought, this ring truly has no use anymore. Because perhaps I had finally found someone who truly cared for me. 6 months into my relationship with Jake, we graduated. Using Jake's family connections, I landed a fantastic job at a top-tier tech company and successfully moved from intern to full-time employee, signing my contract. The day I got hired full-time, Jake proposed. I said yes. I looked at Jake, his eyes sparkling with joy, and asked him, "Jake, do you love me?" He pulled me into a hug, his voice soft. "Of course I love you, silly." I pulled the ring from my pocket. This, I decided, would be my final test. Jake noticed the ring. "When did you get that?" "It's beautiful." I asked Jake to turn around, and he obediently complied. I put the ring on, then told him to count to 3 before turning back. 3, 2, 1. "I'm turning around now." He turned, and his gentle smile dissolved into a look of
shock.
It lasted only a second, then vanished, replaced by his usual warmth. I smiled, my voice sweet. "Now, what do I look like in your
eyes?"
Jake paused. "No change," he said. I covered my mouth, letting out a soft, playful giggle. Of course, there's no change, silly. Then, a sudden shift in my voice, a harshness that scraped against the air. The Sarah I knew wasn't like this. It's sick. I actually spent half a year with that woman. What the hell happened? Because I don't love you at all, Jake. Goodbye, Jake. Jake's face went ashen. I pulled away, grabbed my bag, and walked out, ignoring Jake's desperate cries behind me. When Jake first started getting close to me, Liam had sought me out. He looked much thinner, his eyes wide and vacant as he stared at me. I urged him to speak. He told me a secret. "Sarah, don't trust Jake. He had a girlfriend who died in a car crash. He's only pursuing you to use you." I froze for a moment, then thanked him. "Thank you.
I'll
remember that." As I left, Liam called out to me again. He whispered, "Sarah, I'm sorry." The man sat behind me, clutching his chest, silently uttering the words he couldn't say aloud. "I love you." That evening, my colleagues threw a party to celebrate my promotion. They noticed the ring on my finger. "Did your boyfriend buy that for you?" "It's gorgeous." I held up my hand, proudly displaying it. "What boyfriend?"
"I
don't have one. I bought this for myself." "Then why are you wearing it on your middle finger?" "Singles wear rings on their middle finger." I smiled, gazing at the ring, then lowered my eyes and solemnly kissed it. Because I'm the person I love most. Girls, love yourselves.